Stay with me to the end of this video and I'm going to show you how I made this stylish A-line gown. I was able to achieve this with 4 yards of chantilly lace fabric. If you find this video helpful, please do well to give my video a thumbs up. It means a whole lot to me. And do not forget to leave a comment, subscribe and share my videos. It also has a loop at the back neckline, as you can see here. Without wasting much of our time, let's get right into the video. I have my lace fabric here. I have a bias tip I'm going to be making use of and a button. Okay, I have my 4 yards of chantilly lace right here, as I said earlier. Now what we are going to do now is to come here and I'm going to measure it for you. This is the part where we measure the length of the lace, and what I have here is about 62 inches. Okay, I have 62 inches right here, as you can see, and we are going to be making use of that part as the shoulder. Here is the lace edge and this is where we have our yardage, and I have about 4 yards here. So I'm going to fold this part into two like this, and we are going to be making use of this part here as the shoulder line. So in order for you to know what to fold, all you need to do is just to get your bust round measurement and divide it by 4. If you want it to be fitted, you do not need to add any allowance at the upper part here. You can add your allowance at the down part. Okay, so I'm going to mark my bust round divided by 4. That gives me about 12 inches, and I'm going to add 2 inches for ease for allowance, then 1 inch for sewing allowance. Okay, and that is what I'm going to be using to fold this fabric here, and that's about 15 inches. I'll mark 1 inch as a starting point, as you can see me doing here, and once I'm done with that, I'm going to measure the length of the gown that I want, and I am working with about 60 inches length plus 1 inch for sewing allowance, for hemming allowance at the down part. That gives me 61 inches. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'm just going to start my measurement here. So on this part here, I'm going to measure the shoulder line of 8 inches plus half inch because I'm cutting on the fabric, and that gives me 8.5. Then I'm going to mark my neck width and neck depth of 3.5 inches each. Then I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, just like this, as you can see me doing. Then once I'm done marking the shoulder slope like this, the next thing I'm going to do is to take this again. Okay, here I have 3.5 inches on the neckline, neck depth and neck width. Okay, I have my 1 inch shoulder slope right here. Then after the 1 inch shoulder slope, I'm going to come down by 8 inches for my armhole depth. Then after marking it here, I'll just connect the line straight like so. Then the next thing I'll do is to divide my armhole by 2. I'll come down by 4 inches and come in by half inch for my front armhole curve. Okay, then I'll mark 12 inches here plus 2 inches wideness allowance and 1 inch for sewing allowance. Okay, so I have about 15 inches in total at my bust area, my upper chest line here, at my chest line here. Okay, then I'll come to the down part right here, and what I have at the upper part is about 15 inches at the bust area. Then I'll just mark 15 inches plus 4 inches for the A-line allowance. Okay, so this totally depends on you. If you want it wider, you can add more. So I have 19 inches at the down part here. I'll take my ruler and I'll connect from the 15 inches at the upper part here. From the 15 inches at my armhole part here, I'll connect to the 19 inches at the down part, and that gives me my A-line shape. Okay, so once I'm through with that, I just cut it out, but I did not cut out this upper part here because I want to cut another fabric like this for the back part. I hope you understand. Okay, so I just cut out the A-line part only. Now I've cut out another part for the back part here, and I've placed them on each other like this, just exactly what I have at the upper part. At the front part, I have it right here. Okay, so I'm going to place it back like this, and I am going to pin it down here. Then I will measure the back neckline now. I hope you understand. If you have any question, you can ask me. Okay, this is the starting point. I'm trying to make it more visible. Okay, then I'll come down by 1 inch from the starting point. I'll come down by 1 inch and mark my back neckline. So I'm going to be cutting out on the back neckline first. I'll cut it out on both lines. Then I'm going to make my back armhole curve as well. So like we all know that the back armhole curve is not always as deeper as the front armhole curve, okay? So here I have the back and the front armhole curve already. Now I'm going to be cutting out the neckline with 1/2 inch allowance to turn in my bias strip, okay? So I'm not going to add 1/2 inch to the armhole area anymore because I already added it while marking the lines, okay? I hope you understand. So I marked 8.5 instead of 8 inches for my armhole, okay? And I'm going to follow that line just like so. I hope you understand. Now I'm just going to start cutting out with my 1/2 inch now. As you can see, I'm going to cut out here with 1/2 inch to join to the other part, and I'm just going to cut on the back armhole line first, just like this, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do now is to open it up this way, and I'm just going to keep the back neckline, just pin it down and make sure that they are equal like this, and I'm just going to make a slit at the back middle back opening here, okay? I'll come down by 4 inches, all right? You can come down by 4.5, 4.5 if you wish. I'll come down by 4 inches, and I'm going to make an opening around here for the slit for ease, for it to be able to put it on, because it does not have a zipper at the back. I hope you understand. So after opening it this way, I'm going to be done with the back, and I'll work on the front part. So what I'm going to do at the front part now is just to cut out the neckline and the armhole area. I hope you understand. So I'll cut out the neckline now with 1/2 inch allowance as well. Then I'm going to be cutting out the front armhole area, okay? I'm going to trim it out just like this. Please give my video a thumbs up if you find this video helpful. Thank you. Now once I'm done with that, what I'm going to do now is to work on the front part, and this is the right side here facing me, and I'm going to just use my bias like so, and I'm going to be turning the bias to the other side, to the wrong side. The bias is going to be showing at the wrong side of the neckline, okay? Here is the back part, and I'm going to cut about 2.5 inches of a bias strip, and I'm just going to fold it into two this way to create a loop, okay? Then I'm going to fold it in this way. Then I'll now fold it again, fold it. Take your time and fold it like that. I'm going to fold it again, and I'll make sure that I have like a times at the edge of the bias, okay? Make it let it cross each other, and place it on the left side like so. So this, we are placing it on the right side of the fabric, okay? But on the left side of the neckline, all right? Then just pin it down like so. Once you're done pinning it down, I hope you can see the way I placed it. So just place it at the edge like so, and bring your button and make sure that it can pass through, okay? Once you're done with that, you're just going to bring the bias strip and stitch on the edge of the lace fabric like this. We are stitching on the right side, and we are going to be turning the lace fabric to the wrong side, okay? Just stitch all the way straight to this part like this, okay? And then you cut out your bias strip. So here is what I have after I was done. You can see the way I stitched it, you can see, and you can see what it looks like here. And on this part that I have the loop here, you can see the way it came out, okay? So you can see the way it came out. So once I'm done with that, I'm just going to pin down this part here. So once you're done pinning, in order to be able to finish this part here, just place it, just hold the edges together and get the midpoint like this, okay? Hold the edges together and get the midpoint like this. And once you're done with that, you're just going to fold it like this, and you're going to be making a tiny stitch around here, just like a dart, okay? You're going to be making a tiny stitch just like a dart around here. You understand? It's just for it to be properly relaxed and have that V neckline shape. Okay, you're going to see what you're going to do, just like a dart. You're going to be making it on that part. Just cross it like this. Okay, so once you're done with that, the next thing you're going to do is, then once you're done with that, just stitch around like so. Okay, then you're going to be bringing your bias strip and turn to the right side again and finish up the neckline just like this. Okay, you're going to finish it up like this and turn it to the wrong side. Repeat the same thing for this side as well. All right, so here is what I have after I was done. So once you're done with that, just iron this part here properly, and this is the right side. All right, so what I'm going to do now is to bring the button here and just fix the button. By the time you are done, you can do that. Okay, so I'm going to be working on the front part here. Just fold it into two like this, and you can iron it so you can get the midpoint. So here I'm going to be coming down from this shoulder line. I'll come down to my underbust. If you do not want the pleats to be deep like this, you can just come down till your bust point. Okay, so I marked my underbust, and the reason why that deep v-neck went down was because the clothes was meant for a bustier person. You understand? So it's looking like it's so deep. So here I come down by 5 inches at the armhole area, mark 5 inches at the armhole area, and then I'm going to be connecting it like a sweetheart neckline. I'm going to be connecting it like a sweetheart neckline like this. Connect from the 5 inches into the 16 inches that I have around here. I hope you understand. So don't make use of 16 inches if you don't want. Make use of your underbust neckline, underbust line, sorry, or your bust line. So here is the fabric I'm going to be making use of to pleats. So here I have about 6 inches as the length of this part here. 6 inches as the length. Then folding it into two like this, I have about 32 inches right here. Okay, you can add more if you want it fuller, and you can make use of what I have made use of. Okay, so I have about 32 inches on fold of 2. All right, now I'm going to notch the midpoint here, and as you can see that this fabric I'm making use of has lace edge. Okay, so just notch the midpoint here, and you're going to be turning your fabric upside down like this. This is the right side facing me, but I'm going to be turning it like this so I can sew it conveniently. Okay, so just place that notch part on the 16 inches that we came down by at the midpoint of the front fabric. Okay, then once I do that, I'm going to just come to the edge of this lace here and fold it in. Okay, make sure that you fold the edge like that, and you're going to just I'm going to remove this pin now and make a pleat around here, and I'm just going to pin it down just like this. I'll form a pleat there and pin it down. Then I'll come here and I'll start pleating. So it's going to be convenient to stitch this way. That is why I turn it. You understand? I turn it to the other side. So you're going to be stitching it this way, stitch it and pleat it like this, and by the time you get to the 5 inches here, you're going to be leaving about ½ inch here for the sleeve allowance. Okay, then I'm going to be turning it like this, then I'll top stitch on it. Repeat the same thing for the other side. Okay, I hope you understand. So I'm going to take it again. So this is the right side facing the right side of the bodice, and then you're just going to continue to pleat and pleat and pleat. Make sure that you leave about ½ inch here to stitch this part to the sleeve area, and then you're going to flip it to the other side like this, and we'll be top stitching on it. Repeat the same thing for the other side. Okay, so here is what I have after I was done stitching. I hope you can see. Then you can see the way it came out. So arrange it properly like this, and you can see my ½ inch here. Arrange it properly like this and top stitch very closely on the edge. Top stitch on it so that it can relax down. It will not be going up. Okay, just top stitch all the way like so. All right, so here's what I have after I was done top stitching, and you can see the way it came out. Okay, So just arrange it properly. You can see my ½ inch here for the allowance. All right, make sure you have the ½ inch so that you will not stitch on your pleats. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'm just going to bring the back here, place it on each other like so, and I'm going to join the shoulder together with ½ inch allowance. All right, stitch it down with ½ inch here and repeat the same thing for this side as well. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm going to be coming to this side here. So if you want to make your pockets on this side, this is the right time to make it if you are making use of a fabric that is not transparent. Okay, so at these down parts, we do not need any opening here because we already have a wide down part already. Okay, so I'm just going to stitch all the way down with 1 inch allowance and repeat the same thing for this side as well. So here is what I have after I was done, and the next thing for me to do is to measure the armhole area. So I'll be measuring from the back, and then I'm going to measure what I have there. So I'll bring my tape now, and I'm going to measure from the shoulder line here, and I'm going to measure all the way down. So what I have here is about 13 inches. Okay, so I've cut out my sleeve, and at the down part here I have 10 inches. Okay, so here I'm going to fold this fabric here, and what I have here is about 17 inches. Okay, so if you want yours to be wider, just measure what you have around here and multiply it by 2 to cut out this part here, so you can have a full pleat around there. Okay, so the length of this part here is about 6 inches as well. I hope you understand, 6 inches, and the length of the sleeve is about 8 inches. Okay, so I'm going to open it this way. This is the right side here facing me, and I'm going to place the right side of this part here on it. I'll place the notch area together. Okay, and I'm going to pin it down. All right, so once I'm done pinning it down, I'm just going to bring it to the edge here. No need to fold the edge. Okay, just pleat it, pleat the excess into what we have there. So if you want to make use of 2-step, all you need to do is just to, here I have 6 inches, right? So all you need to do is just to cut another fabric of about 2 or 3 inches higher, you understand, longer. So you're just going to cut 2 of it. Okay, and then you're going to add about 2 inches. It's going to be like longer than the other one like this, and then once you're done cutting it, you're just going to stitch it together with this part here before pleating it on the sleeve. Okay, I hope you understand. So I'm going to be making use of just one piece here, and I'll be pleating it into it this way and then top stitch on it by the time I'm done. So here is what I have after I was done. As you can see, my sleeve is ready. If you do not know how to cut a shirt sleeve, I have a video on how to cut it on my channel. You can check how to cut a shirt, normal shirt basic sleeve. Okay, so you can see I have trimmed down this front armhole line here. Make sure that you are placing the right side on, you are placing the front armhole part on the front armhole part on the bodice as well. I hope you understand. Place the right armhole, the front armhole that you have trimmed, on the front armhole on the bodice as well, so you can have a perfect fit. Okay, so just pin it down at this part like this, and you're going to also take the notch area at the upper part and join it and pin it down with the joining at the shoulder line here. I hope you understand. So if you have any question, you can ask me in the comment section. I'll be willing to respond. Okay, so just place it like this and pin it down like so. I hope you understand. So once you're done pinning, you're going to just continue to stitch it with your ½ inch allowance like this. Okay, it is going to fit if you have cut out the same thing. Just stitch it all around and repeat the same thing for the second sleeve right here. And once we are done with that, we are going to come to the down part here and fold with ½ and ½ of inch with about 1 inch right here all around, and that will bring us to the end of this tutorial. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give my video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have a question, you can ask me. So I'm going to be seeing you on my next video, and thank you so much. Bye.